katwele lele katwe nanatua na lele lele katwele ululu lele kautele taptele lele wala kula wena tatana rata naname ululu kawetatanin ulale tanin natakaye 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 undananuya ululu la tataye nanakaine.
Let's see who's on there. Who's on here now? Let's see. We have Amanda, Joshua, Sylvia, Susan. Susan, are you excited? Oh my gosh. Totally. So, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you guys are ready for this. I know you are, Susan. It's going to be amazing. We just want to welcome you guys for showing up today. And you're showing up not for us. You're not even showing up for the bigger consciousness. You're showing up for you and in your life and in your truth and what you would like to bring into your life. We have spent so long putting ourselves on the back burner. We have been, oh man, suffering, let's just say suffering for no bloody reason. And we are done with that. And so Rebecca and I, once we started this journey, we have went through that initiation ourselves. So we are really excited to about what's going to be unfolding this afternoon or morning or evening, wherever you are. So to begin, my name is Abigail, and I am a transformational healer. I am a life, love, and spiritual coach. But underneath all of those fancy names, I am basically a spokesperson for the divine. I am a messenger for the divine. And the divine speaks through me, works through me. That is the gist of what I do. And so I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to hand it over to you, sister.
Okay, well, I'm Rebecca Eggers. I'm the Dream Midwife. My business is The Passion Path. My 2017-2018 program is called Dream Alchemy, The Revelation Story. I take you on a 7-doorway journey that ends with you becoming one of the heroines or heroes of this age, riding the mists of victory that we all need to step into in your voice. And with that, I also want to add that our hot seat participant today, Susan, is one of those people who has written one of the myths of victory for this age. And I want to say to you that Susan has been my client for a long time, and it's very brave of her and very vulnerable of her to step into the hot seat today and be sort of a lightning rod of transformation for the group. But I don't want anyone to believe that that means that Susan isn't a powerhouse in her own right, because she is. We've put together today a treasure trust of riches for you guys, which are, discounted and free things that we put together to just give to you guys for participating here today to start the abundance rolling, overflowing from our hands to yours. And we included Susan's Empress Medicine journey in there. So I wanted to make sure we gave a little intro on Susan too, even though she wasn't expecting to introduce herself. And with that, I think you can just take it away. I know the flow was that we were going to start with creating sacred space, and that's you. So I'm going to
mute. All right. So with every powerful ritual, and I call this a ritual because we are going to be invoking our divine presence. We're going to be invoking the abundance of the goddess. We're going to be bringing in our own wisdom, our own riches. And so with that, we need to create a sacred space, a sacred container to hold all of this amazingness that we're going to be bringing in. And so we're going to start with, and it doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to be here with me. You will be receiving this clearing. So I'm going to start with clearing the space. And I just have my herb bundle here. And so just taking a deep breath in, close your eyes, and just envision the smoke from these, abundance from the earth, from this, the herbs from Mother Earth, surrounding you and clearing your energy field, clearing your mind, clearing your heart, clearing you on all levels of any blocks, anything that might hinder you from really receiving that which you deserve today. Taking a deep breath in and out. Beautiful. And now I'm going to be lighting our candle. And with this candle, we invoke divine presence to come and join us. Divine Mother and Divine Father to come and join us. I'm also calling in our guides and our guardians and our angels and our archangels, all of the magnificent beings who have signed up to walk with us and help us to truly, truly live on this planet abundantly and happy and in love and in joy. So I'm calling all of them to come join us in this circle, in this meeting. And so it is. We are ready.
And
Go ahead,
I actually want to call myself and everyone here to full presence. I'm doing this for the fact that I just feel like these days I'm carrying so many things, and there's so much calling for my attention, as is true for all of us, and there's so much happening in the collective that's calling us. So I just want to call everybody to one more deep breath and into full presence here. So I'm going to start by kind of setting the context for our work. This arose out of a prayer series that I started doing, where I would do prayer and then praise and then prophecy. And Abigail was following that, and she was like, "Oh, we should do this. We should do this." And in one of those prayers, just like today, I set the context for the work. So I'm just going to read to you what I said at the beginning of that prayer and talk a little bit about it. I said, "Poverty isn't a mindset. It's a system that relies on one. Poverty is not a byproduct of a domination-based system. It is the only purpose of one. One person dominates another in order to achieve an elevated position. Poverty is not just about money. It's also about sex, gender, emotion, mentality. It's a whole being system that raises some and puts others low. Poverty is not a mindset, but it relies on indoctrination of inferior value in order to sustain the extraction of life force by one person from the other for personal gain. Poverty is not individual only. It is not a simple byproduct of poor choice. It is an intentional stratification of society into winners and losers. Everything a person does to worsen her own position in this stratified reality stems from the consciousness and circumstances of the system itself. Self-harm flows from degradation of value. It is the purpose of the discount. Poverty relies on self-harm from degradation of value. It engenders it. In order to accomplish mass degradation of value, poverty removes certain faces from divinity, while infusing the divine image with lies about its whiteness and its maleness. So I wanted to introduce that into the space, and as I was reading it, I also realized that poverty, that in order to sustain poverty, you not only have to remove certain faces from the divine image, you have to slander the divine masculine. You have to slander it, and you have to plant an image. I'm going to get into this more later, but you have to plant an image in the minds of women in particular for this call, that the divine masculine lords over them. And you have to plant a seed in the mind of men that it's their job to also lord over women, as we're talking here about the priestesses reviving the glory overflowing in them. So I'm kind of a nerd. And so I brought a little bit of neuroscience. I'm going to quote from a book called How God Changes Your Brain. They say, some have created lasting states of tranquility and peace, while others have become more productive at work. when you intensely meditate on a specific goal over an extended period of time, your brain begins to relate to your ideas as if it were an actual object in the world by increasing activity in the thalamus, part of the reality-making process of your brain. The concept begins to feel more obtainable and real, and this is the first step to motivating other parts of the brain to take deliberate action in the world. So I want to say to you that the women who have taken on the mantle of the priestess in whatever form that looks like for you. For me, it's the dream midwife. For Susan, it's the empress in the house. For Abigail, you know, it's multifaceted. She expresses her priestesshood in a multifaceted way. We have actually been imagining, because of the history, we've actually meditated on the agony of the priestesses gone by. And we have thought of the divine feminine, you know, there's a lie that's layered over the divine feminine that she is degraded at this present time, that she has been degraded through history by the acts of men that would, you know, patriarchy, I should say, not necessarily men, but patriarchy that would remove her face from the divine image and thereby ours. And this is a lie, and we have to stop meditating on it. And so today, as I move into working with Susan, we're going to be looking for places where our richness, our financial richness and our life richness and the richness of who we are all bound up in those lies. And then on top of what was, you know, the lies that are sort of out there about the divine feminine, we come to this with a lot of cultural context right now that makes it feel really dangerous to shine. I have never actually shared this in a teaching context before, but I'm going to do it now to set this up, which is that my mother was raised by her Native American grandmother. So even though in lineage and bloodline, I am somewhat more separated from my great-grandmother, in proximity, she's right there. And I've done a lot of contemplating about what this means, because the indigenous people of the world are very much tied to earth, which is very much associated with woman, which is not how it always was. It was not that way in Egypt. It was actually the reverse. The earth was male. So this is degradation of earth had to be named female. So as I've reflected on what this has meant, this proximity of my native grandmother, I started asking myself about the murder of people for their resources. And from there, I can extend it to the degradation of people in, for instance, slavery to get their life force applied to someone else's agenda. And all of these things, the rape of women for their sexual and reproductive resources, and all of these things come together as the consciousness that forms the background for our attempts as women primarily. Is someone signaling me that she can't hear me? Can you hear me, Abigail? Well, then I'm going to have to just go on, because I don't know why she can't hear me. Can you unmute the one that says comm department so we can... Susan says she can hear. So I think you're going to have to solve that on your end, because it seems like those process is working. So we come to this process of trying to shine our light and be compensated fairly for our work and live rich lives with all of this stuff that says that we've meditated on as we've tried to grapple with our position in society, that we've given our thalamus, which is the reality-making part of our brain. We've come to this work with all of these consciousness blocks. So we're going to go into that with Susan just as soon as I finish my presentation, and I'm going to just make sure that I haven't missed anything. Oh, yeah, the opening prayer. That would probably be a good place to start. And one other point that I want to make, relating back to the slander of the divine masculine and by extension of men, I want to offer into the space that I saw an unusual thing the other night, which was a male pastor, Christian pastor, from a denomination that is not very progressive normally, from a very Pentecostal, I would say, background, say that it is the job of the man in this age, as God is beginning to use, as Goddess is beginning to use women in unprecedented ways to make the environment for our thriving, for our gifts to come through. And that really clicked for me, that it's okay for us to ask the men in our lives, and it's okay for us to ask the divine masculine to go before us and make the environment where our gifts can manifest and thrive. And I want that to be a takeaway from here today. He actually called it demonic, the attack that's on women. And I thought that meant so much to me, because I was raised in the Christian church. And if it's coming through in the Christian church, it's really coming through. Hello, if the truth has touched them, it's really coming through. So women, priestesses, I want to encourage you to reach out to men and call upon the divine masculine to precede you into the spaces where your dreams are meant to flourish. And men, I want to ask you to cast off this character assassination that says men are supposed to dominate and persecute women in any way, and to step into creating the environment for our gifts to flourish as God and Goddess begin to use us more. And now, Susan, get ready. You're up next. I'm going to read the prayer that went with the context that I just outlined on the day that I wrote it. Got to get my granny glasses, which of course give me instant credibility. It's the only good thing about them. It is from this place of clarity about what poverty does and how it relies on degradation of value that I now pray. Mother, Father, divine, your priestesses have been bowed low. The mother lover whom we serve with vigor has been stripped of her royal position, placed in the dungeon of our collective consciousness, spit upon, and worst of all, denied. Yet we have broken through these lies. We have needed her, and we have sought her, and we have dared to take on her mantle in a world that calls her ugly and worthless. And we have paid a price. Somehow we have come to accept that to bear her name, to claim her likeness, is also to live her exclusion, her denial, her devaluation. But the way we have assigned possession of these words, exclusion, denial, devaluation, is exactly how we have been bowed low. She can never be any of these things. She can never own them. She can never be separated from the whole. Strip these lies from our consciousness spirit. Break our identification with these slanderous mindsets. Bind up the resultant self-harm and cast it away from us. Teach us the ways of your love. Initiate us into self-love so strong the bond can never be broken. Bring us into the fullness of truth. We can never be bowed low. We can never be separated from the glorious whole. We can never be made less in your glorious eyes. We can never be impoverished. Reveal this to us with your glorious outpouring of love and support. Birth us into the full knowledge of our wholeness. Not one single thing rests outside the reach of our innate creative power. Not one gold doubloon exists outside our treasure chest. Even your outpouring is our own, as we are in you and you are in us. We are vessels and you have filled us, yet the vessel and its contents are not in any way separate. Bring us fully into the consciousness of this unity with you and with our magnificent bounty. Teach us to unleash this magnificence with the simple wag of our tongues as we spend our days speculating about your greatness and our own. Keep us proclaiming riches until we stand tall, fully initiated, our faces fully present in the divine image, and the divine image fully present in our faces. We are the eternal blessing force. Unleash in us our full inheritance, our majestic nature. And I'll ask if Abigail wants to jump in with anything before we start Susan's journey.
Amen, sister.
And I need some water. All right, Susan, you can unmute, and it's time for your journey to begin. So I can see you, Abigail, but I cannot see Susan on the large screen. Maybe if you turn off your camera, and then maybe she'll show up on the screen. That would help me so that I can see her facial expression. If
So
not,
once
I'll
she
just work with the
starts,
small.
when she starts talking, she will be the one on
Okay,
the screen.
Susan, can you say something so I can see?
I can. Hello, Rebecca.
Okay,
Can you
good.
hear
Yes,
me?
you did show up on the screen
Can
finally.
you hear me?
I
Good.
can hear you. So, Susan, I want to toss out some imagery for you today. We started calling this reclaiming. We talked a lot about birth when we were coming into it, and leading up to this, what we discerned is that actually this is a revival. And the imagery that comes to mind is the dead bones. And when I think about the dead bones, I think about the aborted riches, the aborted abundance. So we're working today, we're starting with the dead bones of our abundance, dry and dusty, seemingly hopeless, and so hopeless that we can't even look at them and imagine. It's not like a blank slate, right? We can't even look at them and imagine them thriving. So we start in that place, if that resonates with you.
Yes, yep. Your imagery is always right on. It really helps me to get right to it. Thanks.
Okay, great. So in the interest of time, let's just jump in, and I'll have you just take 3 long, deep breaths into your belly, and just let me know when you feel really centered and grounded in yourself. Okay. So you're just going to conjure the image of this, the dry bones of this aborted or I'm going to say in some way destroyed abundance that was once alive. And just tell us when you have that image and what's showing up there for you.
So for me, the image has more of a feeling of abandon. So I see the bones on the ground, and I'm in the desert, and the ground is like clay.
So the bones are of something that has been left to essentially wither on the vine. It died alone.
It's really sad. It's really sad.
Can you let yourself go a little bit more into that sadness?
The bones remind us what thriving was. If the bones weren't there, we could just go for a hike, and it's kind of beautiful and it's dry, and I could think of it as another environment. But I don't just see my bones here. I see a lot of bones. You know, I feel connected to the one I'm standing next to, but I see a lot of bones in this place, and they're kind of all over. And it just reminds us of the life and what it would be like if these things were to come to life, the thriving that would be.
And can you see any of the lies hanging around that caused us to abandon these bones of our richness?
I feel like almost a shadow or a ghost of something telling everybody to run. And everybody ran, and they left, almost like if there was a fire in your house and you left your dog, you know, and you ran right past because everyone was saying, run, get out, run, get out. But like, why wouldn't you take the dog with you on the way out? Like, why wouldn't you take these things? And so I'm seeing like a memory of the past where everybody was running to get out, and they left these precious animals behind.
Okay, so the voice of fear came in and told everyone to run, and we left behind this precious treasure, and it died by itself.
Yeah.
And what happened? Can you see like what happened in the running away? Like as you've been brought back to this place and you're coming to terms with the abandonment, what happened to you in the running away?
I wasn't thinking. I just started running with the crowd. I wasn't thinking, wait, I no, I wasn't. My brain took over, and my heart center was saying the whole time, no, no, this is what we need to be here and take care of. And my brain kicked in, and I felt everybody else running, and I ran too.
Okay, so the force of the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And was there any value in running? Was there anything that you gained from running from your riches?
Some friendships on the way, I mean, some deep friendships as we kind of perish in the desert together. There's some bonding that occurs, there's some connections that occur. There's a story, sometimes like drama creates story. And so, great, write a book, here's a story. So a story was created, and connections were created.
Well, you know what that sounds like to me? It sounds like we've actually brought in the energy of trauma with that, because, people do bond in trauma. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
even deep friendships are formed in trauma. So I'm drawing a connection here, and I want to see if it resonates for you, that the abandonment of our riches took us into trauma. Like, we thought we were going to be saved from trauma, but it took us into trauma. Mm-hmm. Where we were all perishing in the desert together, and our riches were perishing alone without anyone.
Look, I'm starving too.
And the word faithless is coming in, that we were faithless. And because of our faithlessness, because of our inability to see and to believe and to speak destiny, we just ran out into the desolate space.
Yeah.
And so what's it like to be back here standing in the place of your former riches now that we've gone this deep into the sadness?
Well, there's something that's coming up, and I'm not sure like where it goes in this conversation, and it just, when I'm looking over it, I know you, Rebecca, and we have worked well together, and I'm standing over this like literally pile of bones, and I'm thinking, how is Rebecca going to resurrect this? Like, it just feels so dead and so dry, but I know your power, and I've been working with you long enough, so I do have that in me, and I'm just looking over these piles of bones and wondering, what could we possibly do with this? Like, it feels so removed from riches that it really is a pile of bones at this point. I'm not even sure what it was, because it's so dry and brittle and lifeless.
So what if you touch it and just honor that you feel that sense of faithlessness and hopelessness when you look at the bones, that it's too far gone, we can't get this back?
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of me, I feel a lot of scavenger energy in my life, and so there's a part of me even just picking these up that wonders, could we carve this into a necklace? Could I put a bun and stick it in my hair? Some of these bones, like I know it can be reused, and so that part of me starts to get stimulated as I touch it and think, well, could this, could they be reused? Could they be carved? Could they be kindling for a fire of something new? Like, my mind starts to stretch a little.
Well, and as you're saying that, what's coming to me is that you're trying to think of things you can do with death, with the death that's in front of you. Like, I can make my hair curl around it, and like, let's get used to the death. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And I'm also seeing that the faithlessness is just growing through that innovation. So what if actually you touch the bones, and I know that you know about faith. So what if you touch the bones with the faith of a sovereign woman? Because I'm not going to bring these bones back to life. It's not going to be my power. So you're gonna touch these bones with the power of faith
Mm.
that's in you, and I want to see what happens to these bones when you touch them. I want you to speak to them. Tell them what their true destiny is.
Yeah, I can see them like the flesh, the fur, I can see it, forming.
Okay, so speak to the forming flesh. Tell it its true destiny. For all of us to hear, tell us its true destiny.
Its true destiny. I don't know. I see it. It's like a weasel cat thing. It's in my lap and I'm petting it, but I don't know the
Okay,
destiny of this.
so it's soft and it's alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting that your abundance is showing up as sort of like a mutant cat of some sort.
It's like a weasel cat.
So yeah. So what does the weasel cat mean to you? What does that symbolize for you?
Like survivor is coming up, like that some of these animals like this can really survive in harsh conditions, so that this animal is a survivor.
Well, it sounds like it might be cunning also. It has the gift of cunning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And are you cunning and able to survive in rough terrain?
Definitely.
So did you maybe leave behind your cunning and your ability to thrive, I'm going to say?
In rough terrain, yeah.
'Cause we're definitely in rough terrain now. So you were hoodwinked into leaving behind your cunning and your ability to thrive in rough terrain. And now it's come back to life in your hands and you're not sure what to do with it. So let's relate to it not just as the weasel cat, but as your cunning and your power to thrive. Not just survive, but thrive.
Yeah.
Does it change at all when you relate to it like that?
Yeah.
So what's it like now?
It's just strong. It wants attention. I mean, it's not running away. It has life. It has pulse. It has the ability to survive, and it's right here. It's strong.
And is it breathing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's alive, it's breathing. So what do you want to declare over your cunning and your ability to thrive?
That I have the things I need for survival, and I feel like the voice that was saying run was saying also like, I'll feed you, I'll take care of you, run from this place. And really this place I'm fine. If I'd listened to my heart, I wouldn't have ran.
And what's it going to take to go from surviving to actually thriving, to go from hustling all the time with your cunning and your survival skills to actually thriving and being in the full gifts of your faith? Like, I think the cunning, I think part of why you can't figure out what to say to the weasel cat is because, what to prophesy over it, what to speak over it, is because you can't see what it's supposed to be. Cunning and survival skills belong to trauma. So what's hidden inside the weasel cat?
Well, it's asking to be fed.
And what does it want to eat?
Lemons.
Okay, so feed it some. So you're the herbalist. So why might your cunning and your survival skills need lemon? Tell us what lemon is bringing into this journey for us.
Well, when I think of the plant world, I like to pay attention to what part of the plant is being eaten, whether it's the seed or the root. You know, if I need grounding, I reach for the carrot, the potato. If I need, um, you know, needs based on what part of the plant we're harvesting. And I just see like lemon as the fruit. I mean, lemon is kind of the last stage. It's kind of where the seed is planted. You know, the fruit turns to the seed and the seed turns to new.
Well, lemon is kind of like a funny choice for food to
And
transition.
in the desert.
Right. This is very interesting that we have lemon, which is it's a bitter, sour taste. I'm reminded actually of Beyonce's album. I think, what wasn't it, Lemonade?
Mm,
Or she had a song in the album where she's talking about her grandmother's recipe for lemonade.
mm.
Are we feeding this lemon to the weasel cat as it is, or is it getting sweetened, or why is the lemon here? What's it about? Like,
It's sweetened. It's squeezed and it's lemon with maple syrup.
okay. So tell us about lemon and maple syrup as a healing remedy to draw, or as an elixir to draw out thriving from what has been your survival skills.
Sometimes lemon and maple are used for like fasting purposes, or I mean, sometimes this falls into survival again. Um,
Well, hang on. Fasting. Fasting is a practice of faith.
mhm.
So you're being called to fast something, which is a giving up. What do we need to be fasting in order to actually get to the activation?
Listening outside of ourselves.
We need to fast the exterior voices,
Mhm.
and we need to
Mhm.
feed ourselves with something sour made sweet enough to delight the palate. That seems so big. Like, I'm tingling all over at this idea that we need to fast these external voices, which brings us back to the context we're all working in. We need to fast the context. And so what happens to the weasel cat when you feed it lemonade, essentially?
Even even though when you're fasting and you're doing something like this, usually you're getting smaller, but as it's hydrating, it's getting bigger and
And,
bigger.
and is it changing at all? Is it still a weasel cat?
No. It's an elephant.
Elephant. Okay, so you have an elephant. What
Hmm.
does that mean for you? And if you don't know, you can ask the elephant, what are you doing here?
Yeah, what are you doing here? Something about the elephant being afraid of the weasel cat, and so as a like as a like protection method, it like changed into the weasel cat.
Okay, so it was protecting itself against other weasel cats.
Mm-hmm.
So it was protecting itself against the cunningness and the survivalist mentality that the weasel cat represented.
Mm-hmm.
And what jumps out at me is that saying about the elephant in the middle of the room, like something that
Yeah.
we need to see that we're not seeing. Like, what's the elephant in the middle of our room that we can't quite see? the truth that's
I didn't even want to say elephant. When you asked me what it was, I was like, oh my God, I don't want to say elephant.
well, I was
It's like
thinking how brave you were to actually spit that out, because I was like, what are we going to do with the elephant? So,
I know. It's just big. I mean, it's like the elephant in the room. It's big. You can't push it underground. You can't. It doesn't dry up as easily.
Sturdy,
Mm-hmm.
solid.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something
Present.
sturdy, solid, present that went into hiding.
Yeah.
As the weasel cat, it started to become like what it feared.
Yeah.
And what's possible now that it's an elephant again?
The elephant is at service. Like the elephant just feels like it's at service when it's not hiding and it's not shape shifting and it's really present and it's really there. Like I just keep seeing the elephant like carrying wood and carrying water and providing and kind of resuscitating the environment. Like it wants to get to work helping.
And what about carrying you? Well, is the elephant amenable to carrying you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you mount up on the elephant and it's this strong, powerful support for you, what's that like? This is your abundance becoming this strong, four-footed, solid, hardworking, at service, available to you animal.
Yeah, the elephant, before I ride on it, wants to be almost like hennaed, but painted in gold.
Okay.
And then I'm able to ride.
Okay, so the elephant wants to have its true identity evident.
Mm-hmm.
And you coming through to ride the elephant, you returning to the Valley of the Dead Bones and resuscitating it and finding its true nature and covering it with gold is actually what allows you to ride it. There's this interaction between rider and elephant, between rider and the support, that you have to call it by its true name.
Yeah.
You have to present it in the world as what it is. So what do you want to speak now that you're on? What do you want to speak over your abundance, your richness, now that you're up on the elephant and it's supporting you?
What do I want to speak to my richness?
Yeah, what's your, like in the Jewish tradition and in the Christian tradition, there's blessings that are spoken, like the blessing of the Father. So think of this as the blessing of the rider to the elephant, the blessing of the priestess to her abundance, and it as a support for her. What are the words that come from your belly? Like really get down in your womb. What are the words that come from your belly as you feel this support under you? You're the blessing force.
I have to let go of there's some embarrassment up here that is just like moving. It's moving quickly, but it has to move before the blessing.
Okay, so that's really interesting.
I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm like,
okay, so when it comes to speaking with faith and power, blessings over the support of your abundance, embarrassment comes in.
mm-hmm.
Like that seems really significant to me. I know it's normal to feel a little bit of embarrassment when you're on the spot to speak something. But how interesting that it separates you from the power of your tongue.
Yeah.
Can you breathe into that embarrassment and tell us a little bit about it?
Well, the fasting is coming back about the lemons and the fasting, because there's a voice that needs to be fasted from, as I'm on this elephant that's saying, why are you riding the elephant? Who chose you? Why are you up there? We're all down here. Why are you up there?
So shame.
Yeah, and
But
that voice.
it's more than shame. It strikes me that women have always been told to live in flat hierarchies. Or hierarchy is not even the right word. Flat circles where everybody has the same status. And you're up here on the elephant, and you're breaking this taboo, and you're in this valley of everybody, you know, of these dry bones, and you've brought yours back to life and brought
And
it
there's
into.
tusks and gold. I mean, it was okay with the elephant, but then wanting to be painted with the gold, and it's like, and then these beautiful tusks, and like this healthy animal, like almost feeling like, do I have too much, or like other people not getting
Okay.
enough?
So everybody's dry bones are in the same place. Everybody
Mhm.
on this call is being called to the valley of their dry bones, and everybody is being invited with you to bring through their abundance. So with that in mind, it's really not your responsibility to stay small, because the same thing is here, accessible to everyone on this call, and everyone in the world can go through this process of resuscitating the dry bones and applying their faith and getting on their elephant, or however it shows up for them, and being supported in their riches. Like, I find myself actually getting mad. Like, how dare this voice speak to Susan and tell her that she has to stay small because other people are staying small,
Because they might not have an elephant,
because they might not
but
have an elephant.
they have what they need.
And you have your elephant, and you're up on it, and it's painted gold, and you're shining. What else is there that is keeping you from blessing your elephant?
Nothing.
So let's have it. Take a deep breath into your belly and pour out some word blessings over your riches and your abundance that are showing up to support you today.
Can you start me by, like, if you come in on like 3 words, I know I can take it from
Okay.
there. I'm just having trouble with the starting of it.
Sure. So, with the support of my abundance under me, we will, with the support of our abundance under us.
We will move forward. With the support of my abundance under me, I can now move forward into the life and destiny that I deserve, that is spiraled inside of me, waiting to come out, excited to be here, ever present, alive. With the support of this abundance on this journey, I have the ability and the light to touch so many people and help them with the resources and energy to bring their dream alive. It's like, I see it like a dominoes effect. As I step in and hold this, I see each one touching one, and just the energy being passed forward. And I see the elephant as like almost like a fire starter on this journey. Like the elephant has like some beginning energy, like some initiator energy, and it's going to initiate receiving.
Okay, so you were supposed to be the lamplight for this group.
Yeah.
And after this, Abigail is going to do an activation for us all, but you're the lamplight for this group, and you're the waymaker for Abigail's voice to land. Let your elephant set this group on fire with the richness of abundance that we need to support us. Let your elephant do its job.
It's dancing. It really is.
And what's happening as the elephant dances?
It's silly, like this joy in this elephant of like freedom, like it feels like energetically like this elephant who'd been like beaten in a circus that was set free, like it was just like it wants to run, it wants to share. It has like almost like it's like young again, you know, like a fountain of youth energy with the permission to be, to wear the gold and to be in its glory. It was like permission.
And what happens to the rest of the bones in the valley when your elephant is dancing and you know, I see sparks flying from its dancing feet as it
Well, the other people that were in the valley that were standing next to their bones, when they were holding their bones, they were crying tears because they thought that the tears were going to fall on the bones and awaken them. But there's, when they look up and see the elephant dancing, then it was like a light goes on in their heart and a joy in their heart, and it is from their heart space that their animals come to life.
beautiful. I can't see anything that more that I'm supposed to do with you to set up Abigail's activation. Do you feel that there's anything else that needs to come in through this journey we've taken together?
Yes, there's one last thing, and there's somebody in the valley that doesn't believe that their animal is going to come alive. And I just want to say that, like, right now, that, like, it's okay. And that's all. I'm not going to stay there with you. I just want to say that, like, it's okay. It doesn't have to happen right now. And, you know, I saw everybody dancing when the elephant danced, and it's okay if somebody still needs to mourn a little longer. Like, that we're not all at the same place, and it's not who can get there faster or who has the biggest animal, because that's what was coming up for me, getting on my elephant, because I seem to manifest things like that. And I just want to say to everyone in the valley, it's okay to be right where you are, and it will all unfold. And that's the coming back to the faith piece.
So your faith also involves having faith that other people can find their way, and you don't have to carry this burden any longer of other people not reviving their riches.
I will still get on my elephant, and I'm going to do my thing, and I have faith that other journeys will awaken as they exactly need to be.
So if you become like the leader of the line, so to speak, you're the first fruit, the first one to leave the valley of dry bones, where do you go? Where's your elephant taking you? Chart a course to something new.
I know we're just going to higher elevation. I just know it's higher elevation, and I just want to make sure that is created that we're moving at our own paces. We're, I feel like I'm channeling my yoga teacher for a minute of, like, you know, stretch where you need to stretch, be where you need to be. You know, my elephant is moving forward. Find your own comfort in this, and most of the pack is following, you know, and is going to higher terrain where there's just a better lookout, there's better sight, there's some more food, there's more abundance there for us. But I'm just encouraging to move at your own pace. There's no abandonment, there's no first one there wins. There's just because we've been together in this dryness and in this sadness, and I'm just moving out of it.
And it sounds like you have faith that everybody moving at their own pace and everybody doing what they need to do for themselves to revive their faith isn't necessarily going to leave you abandoned at the front of the line. Like, people will find the gate that works for them, and they will find the people that they are journeying with.
Yes.
And I'm getting that there's even purpose to some people needing a little more time to mourn.
Yes.
that the whole thing is coming together as a tapestry, that each
Yes.
piece has meaning and each formed in its own time, coming together in this tapestry, this long line of riches that's springing to life.
Yes.
And is there anything else that you and I need to do before we bring Abigail in to do her activation work?
I'm complete.
Okay, so Abigail, I don't know if you need Susan for this or if it's just you, Sista, but you're up.
Thank you, love. Thank you. So, with this, where we have reached in our journey, I actually invite everyone. I want you to come in, risen up. I want you to see yourself standing up. However, maybe with your arms open wide, I want you to rise up. I'm asking you to rise up. Thank you, Susan, for being that gateway for us to see our own courage, our own light, our own strength. But I want you to see it within yourself. Everything that she was walking through, you walked through as well. You have that courage to get on your animal, to get on your elephant. You have the strength to speak your own prophecies on your own dry bones. You have everything that you need to transform this. I am asking you to rise up. I want to see you risen up. And at this time, I'm calling in that divine milk, the golden milk of the divine Father and divine Mother to flow in through us and overflow into all areas of our lives. I'm calling in this divine milk to just pour onto these dry bones and revive them. So I want you to see this downpour of milk just pouring into all areas of your life that need this support now, that need this revival now, that need this resurrection now. Bringing in the frequency of revival, resurrection, abundance into all of the dimensions of yourself, into all of your power centers now, activating all 12 of your DNAs and any other DNA that needs to be activated now, calling in the light within all of them now. Creating the containers so that you may receive these riches. What is done for one is done for all. Revival. It is written within our hearts, in our minds, in our souls, that our glories are overflowing, our riches cascading into every area of our lives. By the power invested in me within all of us, I call forth our power. I call forth our riches. I call forth our truth. I call forth our divine essence. I call forth our joy. I call forth our divine gifts, fully expressed in however way we choose to express that. I call forth our voices, our courage, and our strength. Taking a deep breath in here. Today, we raise our cups to receive the golden milk overflowing from the great mother's bosom. Today, we take a stand in our lives and in our bodies, in our physicality, and using our voice. We say, no more dryness, no more suffering, no more poverty. I choose something more. I choose something better. And whatever it is that you choose now, I want you to allow that to come through. Allow that to come in. Wherever you are, if you even feel like saying it out loud in your own space, speak that. Today, we revive our power to thrive.
Well, and Abigail, there's something about destiny unclaimed. There's something about our own refusal to claim our destiny, and I just want to bind up that refusal to claim our destiny and combine that with your unleashing of the nourishment from the Divine Mother. I don't know where that goes. It just came over me so strongly that there are people here that I in some way also refuse to claim a part of my destiny, and we're just binding that up and calling us into commitment to what's been put in front of us, commitment to what we've been asked to do at this time in history, commitment to being the heroines of this time. We're not just overflowing for our own gratification. We are overflowing the milk in our hands, not just coming to us, but through us. And I invite you all to just, as Abigail has been saying, just let that nourishment flow. And I invite us all to create the bond with our destiny. That's the word I've been looking for. The bond with our destiny. It's ours. It's ours. Get your hands off my destiny. It's mine. And it's for the world.
And know that it is safe. You are safe. When you grab hold of that destiny, when you reclaim it, when you say yes to this, it comes with all of the protection you will need. And I just want to say, we are, yes. And I want to say,
covered and revealed, sorry. We are covered and revealed.
For those of you who are feeling scared or afraid or having doubts, what if? And what if that? And what if this and that? No, I want you to know this. It's okay. We are human after all. But the difference between who you were and who you are now is that you recognize this fear, but you do not let it drag you down. You've been doing that for too long. No more. Observe the fear. Observe that voice, but do not give it the power to take over you. You have that power.
And I just keep seeing us, Abigail, held in the palm of the hand of the Divine Father, like it's our platform and it's our security and it's our lover, like the elephant, the structure beneath us. I just see us held there on the platform, covered and revealed into our destiny.
Beautiful. Covered and revealed. Covered and revealed. We are held in the hands of the divine, covered and revealed. Receive this. Receive this truth. You are, we are glory made manifest.
Yes.
We
I can feel that in my whole body. Can you feel it in your body, Abigail?
all over.
I'm like tingling and tearing up, and you know what's breaking off of us? The abandonment of the Father that we've been told was real.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Mm. Thank you, Divine, for this. Thank you. We no longer need it. No longer need it. No longer need it. Mm.
It's
Today,
broken.
yes. Mm. I speak to the dry bones of our riches. Receive this divine milk and rise up. Receive this divine milk and rise up.
And receive our breath, our divine breath, and rise up.
Receive our divine hearts and rise up. Mm.
We're home, Abigail.
We are home. We
And
are
our home
home.
is a kingdom of riches.
Yes, it is.
I feel that.
Yes, it is. Who said we have to suffer doing what we love to do? Who gave us the idea, and why did we instill that within ourselves? Why did we take that upon ourselves? Why did we believe that?
Because they wanted us to, and we didn't have anybody to tell us otherwise. We couldn't hear, like Susan said, we couldn't even hear our own hearts telling us, don't run away from this is the very thing you need. Don't run away. Don't listen to the voice. And we were put into servitude because we listened to that voice that said, run from this thing. And I'm not running anymore.
No more running. Take a stand.
Oh my God, I have to tell you, the word ecstasy comes from a word that actually means to stand. I know this because it's in my Dream Alchemy program. So we're not rising anymore. We're standing.
We're standing.
We're up.
We're saying, hey, this is what I am worthy of. This is what I deserve. This is what I signed up for, not what you told me that I deserve. No more. I know my truth. I hear my voice. I am connected. I am in tuned. I am here now. I am here now.
Yes.
I am here now.
I am here now. I am in my destiny now.
Yes.
We didn't actually talk about how we were going to conclude.
No.
I feel like we need to let, I don't know how many people we have, but I feel like we need to let people just one by one leave a word here in the group.
I agree.
And then we'll just, after the last person goes, we'll just say a little prayer of thank you and move on in our destiny.
Beautiful. So when you're ready, go ahead and unmute yourself and then go ahead and speak the word that you would like to drop in into this sacred, beautiful, beautiful journey.
I would like to say gratitude.
Gratitude. Thank you, sister.
My word is bravery.
Bravery. Thank you, sister.
My word is empowerment.
Empowerment. Thank you.
My word is strength.
Strength. Thank you, sister.
My word is revealing.
Revealing. Thank you.
My word is ecstasy. Susan, do you want to jump in with a word?
Yeah, my word is sweetness.
Mm.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes. And I would love to tie all of these beautiful, powerful words into the original words, which kept coming up over and over: faith and trust. Faith and trust.
Well, and you asked me previously, Abigail, to give a definition of faith.
Yes.
So I said that faith is the believing and speaking that delivers the evidence of things hoped for and the substance of things not yet seen, which is an amalgamation of the believing and speaking definition. Is I saw a sermon many years ago, and I can't remember the name of the guy, but I sure remember those words, that faith is believing and speaking. And the definition of faith in Hebrews is that faith is the evidence of things hoped for and the substance of things not yet seen. And so we speak into existence with our believing and our speaking the evidence of what we seek to see in the world. And I just love that. I want to say that we have no idea, or at least I have no idea, how we're going to deliver your treasure chest to you. I'm not sure if we can, what happens to the event after it passes. Facebook's not real good about letting you get back into those. So we'll just have to figure out how to get the treasures. I could pop it in the chat. Would that work for everyone? If I pop it into the chat?
Yeah, you can just put it on the comments in the chat.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now, so I'm going to put the link into the chat so that everyone has a chance to pull it off. Let's see. There you go. And we'll try to get it to you some other way in case someone misses it. But just in case, at least we have it here. And thank you all so much for coming. Abigail, I would just like to offer the simple prayer of just, Mother, Father, I stand in awe. Thank you for calling me to this work. Thank you for calling me to my destiny. And thank you for tearing down all of the strongholds that were standing between me and your will. Thank you.
Thank you. So it is. Yes, thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day and happy 11/11. Goodbye, everyone.
Na le le la la kat wele.